Ladies and gentlemen, this is Won-Jin Movie So Awesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
Today we're going to talk about True Detective Season 4, Episode 1 and 2. There are 6 episodes in total, streaming every Sunday. We're going to start off with 2 episodes. Major spoilers ahead. Shout out to Zezzy. What's up?
What's up?
We may have spoilers for True Detective Season 1, 2, 3. But not likely, because we're going to try to focus on the show.
Yeah.
Because Won-Jin...
Yeah, I haven't seen the previous seasons.
Shout out to Scott Walker. So we're going to try to focus on Season 4. But I have watched all previous seasons, so keep that in mind. You have been warned. Here we go. Like, Won-Jin, like, this is like a return... For you, I'm going to explain it to you. When 2014, I think, first True Detective hit... The first season was just a major hit. And then I think within 1 or 2 years, Season 2 came out. That was a dud. And then there was this long break until Season 3. Season 3, I personally loved it. I think the critics loved it too. But the audience was nah. So the viewership go down. So this is like almost after 10 years since like the first True Detective. And this one is apparently True Detective Night Country. So that's like the context of the show. But I walked in without like any expectations whatsoever, because it's been such a long time since the first 2 seasons of True Detective dropped. And then this one stars Jodie Foster. And one thing I gotta say, I think she's very, very picky about the project she wants to involve herself in. You know, I think she's one of those auteur actors. I think there was a lot of movies that she really focuses on more of the artistic merit of the work instead of any commercial success. Because she already gone through commercial success, right? Yeah. So that's one thing that really drew me in.
I mean, I think her first film debut was like Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
that says it all.
No, but here, like, I gotta say, like, her acting is great in that she's playing somebody that I never seen her play before. She's playing this very disgruntled, middle-aged cop. And
you know what she reminded me of?
Who?
Winona Ryder in Stranger Things. I mean, they're different actresses, of course, but it was kind of new to me because I've always remembered Winona Ryder from movies like Edward Scissorhands and stuff, right? And then I see her acting this like middle-aged mother. It was kind of refreshing, and the same thing goes for Jodie Foster in this movie. I've never seen her play something like this, because usually, even in her like recent movies, I think the last time I saw her was not even recent. It was like Elysium. Remember the one with Matt Damon? She plays like a villain kind of thing.
She was like an authoritative figure.
Yeah,
here.
She was authoritative. She was like someone with dignity and power. That's the kind of and she was wearing suits and stuff.
No, but this one here is like she's playing a very complex character already. Because I think looking at the first 2 episodes. Because if you just watch the first episode, she might just come off as an asshole. But if you watched True Detective prior seasons, you know, a true detective, a detective that is true to his or her job, who is really about the job, usually in the prior season is not really good at the personal stuff. And there are usually reasons for that. Either a tragedy or there's something, you know, missing in their mind. But it's not that they're a bad person. But here I'm already getting that vibe from Jodie Foster where, for example, I don't think she's mean to the
stepdaughter?
Yeah, for like the painting thing. I thought that was because Jodie Foster pretends that she doesn't care about people, but I think she does. And I think that painting reminds her of the
child.
No. The case that they didn't solve about the Native American woman. Because remember this show is.
What was her name? Annie?
Yeah, Annie. Yeah. For True Detective newcomers, they intentionally do this to fuck with our heads. Like, they drop so many clues and would-be interpretations, but that's the feeling I got where, like, she's going to have to come with term with her humanity and partner up with... Because there's a lot that they're not explaining, right? Right off the bat.
Okay, Scott Walker. Guys, I forgot to ask you before. Do you remember the movies called Wild Things? We absolutely remember.
Hell
Nev
yeah.
Campbell, Denise Richards.
Hell yeah.
96, 97 was it?
Hell yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah.
And Crazy Beautiful. I've never seen that one. One of my favorite when I was a teenage. Crazy Beautiful has a place for me. Yes, movies like Wild Things, they all have a special place for a teenage boy's heart.
Yeah, of course it does.
And Team America.
Yeah.
Like every time we say America in this show, that's from Team America.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were not offended by that movie at all. We thoroughly enjoy that movie. I'm pretty sure I can say this for both Joe and I.
No, but I gotta say this though, like Scott Walker, if you're from our generation, today we use the word offended so freely. I think comedy is supposed to offend, and then kind of wake us up about the truth of things.
That's true. They use that. I mean, they offend us for a purpose.
Yeah,
that's what a good comedy does.
Yeah, for example, if I spit at Won-Jin's face and he's gonna punch me in the face. But if I spit in his face and make him laugh, you're like, oh, that's why you spat at my face. And I'll get a Kleenex and wipe it off and say, see, you get the joke, right? So the joke is supposed to work that way.
Yeah,
I feel. Oh yeah, she might be afraid that whoever killed the native woman was not caught, and her daughter might become a target if she's expressing herself through her culture. Yeah, Zizi, I want to.
Oh, that's a good point.
No, I think that's one good interpretation. I think there's a lot. Like, first of all, in the first 2 episodes, there are a lot going on.
Yeah.
Like, did those researchers get pulled by a mysterious force, or is there something more human going on here? And that's why me and Won-Jin, we titled this Our Imagination is a True Horror, because and the series is intentionally invoking that, because remember in episode 2 when the Icicle man screams, that
was disturbing.
No, but that's intentionally,
that shocked me.
No, that was invoking Carpenter's The Thing. Remember in Carpenter's Thing we always get that ice head, so it's like hitting all the horror tropes.
Yeah.
And Alaska being like darkest. Remember like 30 Days and 30 Nights with the handsome guy with the vampire. Like this is like
this is one. I mean, I haven't seen the previous seasons, but I really liked this environment where they lose the sun for like a month or something because they're so far up north. I love the fact that this already sets like the tone and the mood for the show. It's very dark, and in the dark, there's always something that is unknown and uncertain.
No, and the show is intentionally
a lot of tension.
Intentionally doing that because we have to keep asking ourselves: is there a supernatural force, or is there something actually like scientific going on? Because the residents themselves keep saying, "Well, you know what happens during the night period, right? We see things, we get confused."
Yeah, that's something unsettling about this series. I'm disturbed by those like dead frozen people suddenly moving around. I'm also kind of unsettled and disturbed by the fact that people kind of seem to be okay with it. That old lady who sees the ghost of her like ex-lover or something, Travis. Yeah, she just so casually just mentions him and tells people that she sees him and it kind of feels like that's like that's their business as usual. And when they were trying to thaw out the bodies that they found of those researchers, they just casually take it to the skating rink and they just melt it there when civilians can access the facility and see that dead body. I'm like, is this what happens here all the time?
No, but like they did give a hint that this is a community that knows each other. It's a tight-knit, like a small community. And that's why we get all these animosities between Jodie Foster and the woman who's apparently in charge of the stadium. And we get a lot of tension. And this is like, I do credit the show for making us feel like this is a very lived-in place. It's very realistic because, if you have a group of people, you're going to have people who like each other, people who hate each other, and they keep putting in that down. So everybody knows everybody around this town. And the freakiest thing is the researcher, they didn't know. Yeah. But it's like a story device in that, like, they're trying to make us second-guess ourselves. What's going on? Like, why do they... it's intentional. Well, like even that woman you're talking about with the one
who's the ghost of Travis.
Yeah, that's But there are hints that don't you think like that mine is the problem?
Yeah, we're already getting this like feeling.
hint, right?
They're kind of building up on this. The mind turning water to shit and everything. There's something going on with the mind.
So they're drinking, but you saw them. Who's that? The Annie's father or brother. He complains about the water once, and then he drinks. So like, and then I think we see Travis's wife or girlfriend, like she drinking that too, and she's also high. So there are like a lot of things where
maybe it's like there's certain like toxin in the water, and they're like hallucinating maybe.
No, but see, this is why Won-Jin, you have to watch True Detective season 1, because in season 1, Russ Cole, he used to be a narc, so he done a lot undercover narc. So he done a lot of drugs. So spoilers, he sees visions because of the psychological effect of the brain.
LSD is a hell of a
drug. Laced like all kinds of stuff. So that's why and like I'm sorry to Won-Jin, but too bad you didn't watch True Detective season 1 because Travis Cole is called Travis Cole, but the main character in season 1 is called Russ Cole. So the show is kind of asking, is Travis Cole?
Are they related?
Cole yeah, there's that going on because the first character in season 1 he grew up in Alaska. What's up?
Team, I feel bad for Gary because he has a very bad past. Yes, he was killed by a gorilla, but I mean, we do get the context that he was like fooling around on the gorilla cage. You shouldn't do that. Yeah, and he had blueberries in his pockets, which is very, very bad idea in front of gorillas.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually felt bad for the gorillas because Gary just casually says that they were throwing his brother around like a rag doll until the zookeeper could come and gas them all.
Yeah.
Which means the gorillas were all gassed.
Yeah. And Zezzy said, I never found out about what happened to the screaming guy from episode 2. Yeah, I think that's like a convenient thing.
And the funny thing is...
No, I'm sorry. The show said he's in the hospital because Jodie Foster makes that call. Apparently they sought him out really quickly and put him in the hospital, I guess.
And I think it's also quite I think it's like a joke or maybe like it was intentional that when they were missing from that research lab, they had the movie scene from Ferris Bueller's Day Off where they're like singing and dancing in the parade to Twist and Shout. And when you see them like found the way they are, they're basically like twisting and shouting.
It's a sick joke.
Yeah, it's kind of like a sick joke, like you say. Yeah,
it's a sick joke. That's intentional. But we know that there's 2 survivors now because the screaming guy survived. He's in the hospital in an induced coma. They're trying to heal him.
He would have been okay if like the other guy didn't like snap his arm or something. That was disturbing. That was messed up.
No, but counter argument. If they didn't cut off his arm, maybe they just assumed he died, so they would have just left him there until he melted.
Yeah.
Then he would have died from hypothermia or something. No, but we now know that the. See, remember in episode 1, the guy who freaked out, she's here. The guy who looked at the other guy and said, he's here. Like, she's here. Like, he survived. So that's 2 people survived. So.
What was his name? Clark or something?
Yeah. Clark, who used to, it seems like, had a love relationship with Annie.
Yeah.
And. I mean, the mystery thickens. The mystery definitely thickens. And then there's this weird polar bear with one eye.
Yeah. That reminded me of Game of Thrones. You know that polar bear that is like the White Walker polar bear thing?
Oh, man, that was such garbage. I didn't care for that zombie polar bear at all. I did not care. But here, this is more symbolic because it also has to do with Jodie Foster's apparently dead son's doll who doesn't have a polar eye. So, but this is a common theme because... So is the dead, the white one-eyed polar bear his spirit?
Yeah.
Just like Travis is coming back. So there's this Native American mythology going on where the spirit of the dead comes back. But we don't know whether it is a hallucination caused by the night or the hallucination caused by the drinking water.
The contaminated water.
Yeah, or it's all just in their head. Because it just sure feels like Jodie Foster is haunted by guilt. Just she doesn't admit it as much as her ex-partner, I think. What's her name? I forget her name. The tough-looking woman.
I forget her name.
Riaz or something like that. Because
Angie.
Yeah,
that's right,
Angie, and they had a partnership, it seems. Because remember that scene where she goes to her house and do you put the can over here? It's like they're familiar with each other.
Yeah.
So they
Where
definitely
did the
had
cans go?
Yeah. They had a history together. So it's interesting how they're both dealing with this grief. But I think this show is gonna come back and mess with that again.
Yeah.
Like, is it the mind? Is it their grief? Is it their supernatural thing going on?
So, like ZZ said, I feel a lot of resemblance of, with the X-Files. Like the show that we grew up with in the 90s, because the X-Files also dealt with a lot of like supernatural phenomena and sometimes like schemes that pretends to be like a supernatural thing.
No, but here's the problem though. Now that this is True Detective season 4, the prior seasons tell us that it's usually not a supernatural thing. Like, I'm sorry, you didn't watch it, but I did. So my worry is this gonna end up again like that, where it can all be explained in the real world, and it turns out Clark did something crazy? Because I'm not sure if I like that now, because now that this is 4 seasons in and this is an anthology series, maybe they can go crazy with the Cthulhu myth.
I think that was one thing great about the X-Files. Like you said, they sometimes trick us into believing that this was all like human made and it's like scientific thing, but it actually wasn't.
No, but this is the opposite.
It actually was an alien and so on. Yeah. That's what I loved about the X-Files.
Yeah.
They played with our expectations.
Yeah, but the previous seasons are not fully explained because the Sam sword tattoos are appearing on victims in season 4. Yes, here's the thing though. I think it's like a red herring thing where they're trying to make us think that. So we don't know yet though. Zezzy, you could be right. Maybe the twirling syndicate, because Won-Jin doesn't know this, but Tuttle International is a huge name drop because in season 1 the villain family was called Tuttle. So that's another name drop that. But my worry is, Zezzy, that they're trying to confuse us and thinking there's a bigger Cthulhu darkness in here, of a cult where that serves the otherworldly god. But it may end up all be done by a crazy one-man thing. Because, hey, Zezzy, did you notice like Clark's like shrine for Annie? Like there was a doll of Annie there, and I felt like Won-Jin, what do you think? I thought he was trying to do a resurrection ritual or something.
Yeah, it kind of, I don't know. It at first it kind of gave me like a voodoo vibe or something.
Yeah, but the only hint I get for my theory is that he said when in the first episode he's like, she's here. So apparently, no, Zezzy, this is my theory. I think he is having the same hallucination that Jodie Foster and Travis's girlfriend is having. So I think Clark is continuing to see a vision of Annie, whether it's his illusion or caused by the drinking water. But I think he's trying to bring her spirit back into the doll. That's my first theory. So I think he is going through the same hallucination that they all are. And because there's also a huge like hint where their research project has to do with like immortality. There's this like cell under the water that they can revive to cure all kind of stuff. Maybe this Clark guy is crazy enough to try to combine her spirit with the doll and make her come back or something. I was wondering if somehow it's a story of single individual, something like the Zodiac Killer. I think my guess is, I could be wrong here, Won-Jin, and you can counter me. I think it has to do with Clark's love for Annie, and he's trying to bring her like back to life. That's my theory, at least. And all I got going for is like everybody's seeing hallucination of people they love, right? So I'm guessing Clark, when she says she's here, I'm guessing he's seeing hallucination of
Annie.
Yeah. But maybe he requires these sacrificial victims. Or I think he goes crazy, but the rest of the researcher was just trying to rescue him when he was running out to the cold. But they all just got caught up in the cold or something.
Kind of makes me wonder why they would have like gotten themselves naked and folded their clothes neatly.
No, the folding neatly is also like a huge like... Because remember the younger cop? He explains that there's this hypothermia delirium.
Oh yeah,
they think it's hot, so they
think it's hot. But why fold? Why not just like throw them away?
And listen, the problem with watching just 2 episodes is we still don't have the full explanation, because I think like the young cop's dad, he's had something fishy going on there.
Yeah, I think he's becoming a victim of a romance scam
from the Russian woman.
Yeah, this Alina. And the funny thing is, like how he talked to his son after he found out that he had stolen the case files of Annie. Yeah. He says like, no one steals from like my family, blah 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 blah. Well, he's basically getting his fortune stolen by this like woman he has never met.
Yeah. But I think he also has like a darker secret though, because he was very disturbed by the Annie thing.
Yeah, and he's very protective of that case file.
Here's the thing though. I think though maybe the miners like secretly murdered them in like a not like Annie's murder. I think probably was an organized crime. And maybe they shot her up a lot to make it look like a
hate crime.
Yeah, but or now that we're full of theories now. Maybe Clark knows about that, so it is a revenge against those mining guys. Because and maybe the researchers had something to do with the miners.
Okay, Scott Walker, can we do when we talk about the Free Willy film? Okay, can we do a video when we talk about the Free Willy films? And Kill a Lion movie. I have no idea about the ghost. ZZ. There's a second native lady, but the previous seasons are not fully explained. Voodoo Vibes. I was wondering if somehow it's a story of... Oh, okay, we saw that. I've been wanting to ask this for a long time with other YouTubers. Is there any similarities between Superman and Spider-Man? I think that should be covered in another video, because I think we can do like a comparison between DC heroes and Marvel heroes. I think there aren't many similarities between the two. And the question is, are they just hallucinations? Because remember how the old lady saw the ghost of her deceased husband pointing her towards where the scientists are frozen. Which makes me wonder how much it can be a hallucination, how much that can be a true prediction of some sort. That's true. He pointed in the right direction so that the bodies were found.
No, but here's the thing. Like, I have an explanation for that. Remember how those deers jumped off the cliff?
Oh, yeah. I forgot how the show started with those deers.
So I think maybe there's a scientific explanation of when it's cold, like, everybody wants to go to the same place, and the ghosts are just... Like they're individuals. Everybody has a different ghost that they see, but it's all just sharing to the same direction where they have to jump off the cliff. And I think there might be a scientific explanation for that, because in real life we see like birds die in the river, right? And there are always these like weird like natural forces that induce them to. So I think there might be something like that going on. That doesn't mean like the hallucinations are supernatural necessarily, because everybody can have a different like they're getting a mission to go somewhere by nature, and then they just happen to visualize that in their own different ways through like a ghost or something, I think. But I think I do want more explanation of what's going on there. But there might be a simple explanation how like the woman found the bodies. Is maybe this is like a close knit community where everybody heads to the same place.
Well, we'll have to watch the next episode to get a clearer picture.
No, but Jodie Foster playing an angry detective is funny as hell, because like she's just basically like Russ Cole or Marty from the first season, because she's like a realistic. She's not like a fantasy detective that does everything right and clean. She's a completely flawed human being where I can cheat anytime I want. My husband died.
I slept with her husband.
Yeah, I say fuck you to the captain, and I meet him in a motel later and fuck his brains out, and then like because of fuck you. So there are these like very adult themes going on that kind of humanizes her, and that's part of the charm of True Detective, because every season had flawed human beings. So one of the big themes about True Detective is, for every season, when a true detective solves a case, they have to confront their own truth too. And that's a running theme in True Detective series. So the true has a lot of meanings. It means a true detective is someone who's committed to solving this case. But not only that, she or he or them, they have to face the truth. And here I think we are going to see Jodie Foster come to terms with the lost son, and plus her relationship with her partner, and her partner herself, who has to come to terms with that my baby sister maybe didn't tell me everything.
Yeah, and also the case that she did not solve.
Yeah,
Annie.
No, I'm talking about Annie right now. Like, because Annie never told her about her boyfriend. So, like, them coming into terms with those things. So that would be interesting. But so far, I'm really loving I love the music too. Like when it starts, it's Billie Eilish and like it's a dark song.
It's creepy.
Yeah. Have you guys ever had any experience with ghosts? In my time over the years, I had one ghost tour with my brother-in-law. It was in the morgue, something pushed down on my chest. No, I don't have experience with ghosts.
I actually do, from the army.
Yeah? Tell me about it.
A couple.
No, go ahead. Do one.
No, I'm not gonna do this on camera.
Really? All right. Hey guys, anyway, I think that first impression. Let's give a first impression number grade.
I would give this a 9.
Wow.
It was very, very immersive from the first episode, and it still manages to do. I mean, it manages to be so even in the second episode. I also love like the performances of all the actors in the show, especially I mean Jodie Foster. I mean an actor of a caliber like hers,
Academy winner.
Yeah, Academy Award stuff. Yeah, like no doubt. But even the actors I've seen for the first time, I can. They're
I love the tough lady.
Job. Yeah, the one who plays Angie with the piercings on her cheek. Yeah. She's very impressive so far. I also love those like minor characters in the show, like the bar owner. What's his name? Kavik. Yeah.
The passive boyfriend.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he's being emasculated by Angie.
Yeah, that's funny though.
Yeah, and I love all the performances of all the actors so far. So they've done a very good job. I also like the setting where it's like way up in the north where they lose the sun. It's very dark. It sets up the mood very well.
No, but Won-Jin, you're not usually fond of horror. How are you finding the horror vibe?
Well, it's not like horror. It's kind of like X-Files horror.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is manageable.
So wait until the polar bear opens his face and an alien pops out.
You know, I would actually be okay with that.
And then they start jumping over the container. The night is ours. Yeah.
Because, I mean, that would be just like Stranger Things.
No, I would give it a 9, and I think we should do another review of True Detective once we watch episode 3 and 4, though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's just too many clues here. I mean, if you guys want us to do like a theory thing, we will. But I feel like this review wouldn't have worked if we just watched the first episode. So I feel like we should divide it up like into 3 pieces. So let's do a review once we watch 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And then talk about the larger context, and then I guess we can guess on what the ending will be.
Good idea. And Scott Walker, same night I went on a ghost tour with my brother. Patient's room, lunatic asylum. I went into the room. I got a burning pain in my back. I think I got possessed. Okay, creepy stuff.
Anyway, guys, we'll be back in around 3-5 minutes to talk about Jurassic Park and the Jurassic Park universe. Thank you so much. This has been Jojin Movie Awesome. Thank you so much to Zezzy and Scott Walker. Hey, Scott Walker, come on, watch some of the shows we're talking about. We will really appreciate that. And thanks again to Kayla for leaving a reply. Thank you again to Jason to leaving a reply. We'll be back in
all our subscribers.
We'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes. Bye.
We'll be right back.
I see dead people.
I see dead pigeons.
George Washington came by.
George Washington. Pigeons?
No, George Washington. George Washington said he wanted to look at my pee-pee, but I said, why? He said he never seen a Chinese pee-pee before. I said, I'm a Korean, but he didn't understand the difference. And then I tried to explain what Korea is, and he said, is that next to Korea? What is that? Is that
America?
Fuck yeah. Never crossed the Atlantic.